Meet me at the altar in your white dress. We ain't getting no younger, so we might as well do it. Feeling you all the while, girl, I must confess. Let's get married. Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. So today we will be talking about fragrances that I think are good bridal scents. Duh. Anyways, if that's something you're interested in, please keep watching. So before we get started with the video, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Roxanne, and this is Roxanne's Retreat. If this is your first time joining me, thank you and welcome. And if this is not your first time, meaning that you've been here before, big up your whole self. I truly appreciate the continued love and support as this tiny channel grows. So as always, before we start getting into the fragrances, let's talk about my lip combo. So today, it's fun. I'm laughing already because I line my lips with Chestnut by MAC. Chestnut lines my lips almost like every other day, just saying. And then in the middle, I did this Gucci lippy. I've shown this before, and it's like a pinky nude, and it's called Blaze of Noon. So that's that. And then, because I'm a little extra, I did a MAC gloss. Is it a gloss? Yeah, it's a lip gloss, and it's called Love Child. So it's like a kind of pinkish, mauvish kind of gloss. So it just comes out like just like a pretty neutral on me. So yeah, that's the lippy for today. And then my scent of the day is Narciso Rodriguez for her. First of all, I love the bottle. This light pink, like super feminine bottle. And actually, in my opinion, the fragrance itself just fits the bottle. So this has, there's peach, there's musk, there's sandalwood. It is like a pretty, really, it's a very easy reach fragrance. I think it's, you know, it's a really good fragrance for every day, for work, for running errands, even for bed if you wear fragrances to bed. It gives me about 7 hours on the skin, and it has that, if you've ever smelled any Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, it has that Narciso Rodriguez musk. So yeah, you gotta be into it. So again, scent of the day is Narciso Rodriguez for her. So let's get into these fragrances. So yes, it's bridal season. Actually, every season is bridal season. It doesn't matter. It just so happens that more people get married May, June time frame. But you know, it just depends on you. So today I have about 10 fragrances that I want to talk about that I think that are appropriate for weddings. For a bridal scent, I think that it needs to be something that it doesn't have to be like super strong, but you need to have, you know, some kind of presence because you are the queen of the day. You know, it just needs to fit your whole aesthetic. It has the fragrance itself, like the bottle, I think needs to be pretty in pictures because, you know, when you're getting ready, you do all that jazz, like, you know, you're getting ready, you take the pictures of, you know, the lingerie, you take the pictures of the fragrance. And so, yeah, I really do believe that, you know, those are the things that you have to consider. Also, I think that you also have to consider where your wedding is, or what, you know, the type of wedding dress you're wearing. Meaning, like, if your wedding is on the beach, you know, you might want to wear something a little bit more casual, so to speak. If your wedding is an evening wedding in a castle, you might want to wear something a little bit more formal. But yeah, let's get into the fragrances then. So the first fragrance I have here is definitely not a stranger to the channel, and I won't spend much time on it because I've spoken about this fragrance ad nauseum because I love it, and I really do think that it makes a good bridal scent. And this fragrance I speak of is none other than Feminine Pluriel from MFK. I know y'all are sick of me talking about it, but it is, I don't know, if there was a picture of a perfect fragrance, for me, this is one of them, like literally. So this fragrance, like I said, it's floral, it's sophisticated, it's really feminine. I mean, it's a masterpiece, in my opinion. If you're into sweet, but not cloyingly sweet floral fragrances, I mean, and you're a woman that, you know, is, you know, she has her business together, things are taken care of, bills are paid on time. This is one of the fragrances that you should consider in your collection, and you definitely, if you're getting married, think about it. Go have a little smell-a-thon and smell this fragrance. So this fragrance has iris, there's rose, there's vanilla. It's just so sweet, so powdery, so sophisticated that I think this will make an amazing wedding scent. I think this could go either way. You could wear this in a, you know, a more daytime wedding, or it could be in an evening wedding where you have like this amazing gown. So yeah, Feminine Pluriel from MFK, one of my recommendations for weddings. All right, next up is actually I have two fragrances together because they're basically flankers. And I can't think of another fragrance on my little list here that is gonna be more perfect in pictures for for the bride. And the fragrances I speak of are the Delinas. So I have Delina La Rose and I have Delina Exclusive. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know that I don't own the original Delina. This one is my favorite, the Exclusive, and of course Delina La Rose is just a lighter version to the original. But these two fragrances, either one, I would say this one is more appropriate for a more dressed up wedding, and this one is for a little bit more of a casual vibe, just because of the way the fragrances wear. So this one is deep, I think, and a little heavier. This one is light and airy, but they are both gorgeous. La Rose, again, it's like a watery rose. There's lychee, there's bergamot, there's peony, and for something that's supposed to be like a lighter wearing fragrance, this thing lasts on me. This gives me at least about 8 hours on the skin, so it's super gorgeous. And can you imagine this bottle like in all your little you know, your wedding videos and stuff? This bottle too, just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I would say, like, if it said daytime, more casual wedding, go for the Delina La Rose. Also, and if it's a more evening, deeper darker wedding you know what I'm trying to say, go with the Delina Exclusive. They are both really gorgeous fragrances. So again, if you haven't had a chance to get your nose on these, you know, again, have a smell-a-thon and go to the counter and smell, because this is like this day needs to be like one of the best days of your life, getting married to the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So things need to be near perfect. So you definitely want to have a good scent memory for your wedding. So the ones from Parfums de Marly, I have Delina La Rose and Delina Exclusive, two fragrances that I think will work amazingly for a wedding. Okay, so next up is a fragrance that many people don't speak of, or I shouldn't say, I haven't heard anyone speak of this fragrance, and I discovered it one day when I was browsing through, you know, killing time. As always, I'm at the fragrance counter, and this one, I purchased it, I wore it, and I'm like, this will be really pretty for a nice daytime wedding. So the fragrance I speak of is Penhaligon's Luna. So this fragrance right here, oh Lord, let me fix the girl bow. Oh, is the bow supposed to be backwards? Anyways, Penhaligon's Luna. So this fragrance is a really citrus forward fragrance. So this is for the bride that wants something more light, airy. I mean, if you're the maid of honor, you're definitely gonna have some work here because you're gonna have to re-up the bride, because this is gonna give you about 4 hours on the skin, my skin at least. So, you know, as a good maid of honor, you should be in there like, come on, let me freshen you up. But yeah, so this one opens with some citruses. So there's lemon, there's bergamot. In the middle, there's some florals. I think there's rose. And I could definitely pick up that rose in here. It is a very pretty, I want to say, you know, that whole clean girl aesthetic vibe. Yeah, so if you're one of those girls that, you know, you're on that clean girl thing and you're getting married, this is pretty. This is a really pretty fragrance. And also, I like the bottle. You know, it's white, it's pure. Again, I can see it translating well in pictures. The only thing I would say is the longevity. But this is an Eau de Toilette, so I mean, I guess that speaks to the performance. So once again, Penhaligon's, so pretty. That dry down, the dry down is where I fall in love. It just gives me like a sweet, I don't know if you ever had like a really sweet tangerine, and I don't think tangerine is not one of the notes, but on my skin it dries down to like a sweet kind of tangerine, kind of fresh vibe. It's like you're biting into a juicy tangerine. That's what I get from this fragrance. So yeah, Luna by Penhaligon. Get your nose on it, ladies. Get your nose on it. Okay, speaking of pretty fragrances, I mean, I feel like almost all the fragrances on this list are pretty. So I guess this list is just a lot of fragrances that I feel are super feminine leaning, and they'll make a great fragrances for brides. So next up we have this fragrance here. I spoke of it before, and this is from Ex Nihilo, and this is Vesper Glitz. I got this fragrance in Dubai, and when I was purchasing it, the gentleman at the counter it was Bloomingdale's, they said that this is one of the fragrances that brides pick. Oh my gosh, brides pick a whole lot for their wedding. So the bottle is pretty, you know, it's very classic. It's, you know, nice lines. You have the, let me do my Vanna White. You see the gold right here, and it's a pretty bottle. So I definitely think it's going to translate well in pictures. In terms of longevity, it gives me about 6 to 7 hours on my skin, and I think that's pretty decent. If you're not smelling it enough, get your maid of honor to come spray you up, girl. Spray you up. So this fragrance has mandarin orange. I get a lot of the yellow florals in the middle. So there's ylang ylang, there's mimosa, in the base there's some vanilla. It is a pretty fruity floral fragrance. I think it's more so like an elevated fruity floral. So I would suggest for this to be any time of day kind of wedding. I can see a really formal dressed up bride, you know, wearing this. And I can also see a really happy-go-lucky bride on the beach wearing this, because it's, although it's yellow floral, it's not heavy. It's not like a really heavy floral fragrance that people might shy away from. This one is light, it's airy. It is so gorgeous. I feel like you'll make a very nice statement when you put this on for your wedding day. Again, this is Vesper Glitz from the house of Ex Nihilo. All right, so the next fragrance here on my list is from the house of Toka, and this one is called Florence. So this one is definitely for my white floral lovers, because this is, I sprayed some already. Yeah, it's so pretty. I'll spray some more where I sprayed it. This is like literally a really heavy white floral. So you have to be into the white florals. You have to be into tuberose, gardenia, but those are in the middle. In the opening, there's some pear, so it gives it a lighter opening. But you could definitely get that those heavy white florals like less than a minute into the wear of the fragrance. So you definitely have to like white florals to even consider this fragrance for your wedding day. Now, because tuberose, gardenia, those white florals, they can be tricky. They can absolutely be tricky. You have to be really into them, or else they can be overwhelming. They could be nauseating. Fortunately, I like white florals, and some people feel like white florals translate more to a more, you know, people say mature, but they're truly just trying to say older, to a more older crowd. I mean, I disagree. Some white florals are yes, appropriate for someone that's a little bit more mature, but there are some really fun white florals out there. So never count out a fragrance that's white floral heavy because you think it's gonna make you smell like Grammy, because no, not Florence, baby, not Florence. But I'm a white floral lover. So this fragrance here gives me about, I want to say 6 to 7 hours on my skin. Definitely over spraying. I like the House of Tocca. You can typically find it at Sephora. That's where I typically find mine. But sometimes, like in Marshalls or TJ Maxx, you could run into these fragrances for not much money. So keep your eyes pierced. The only thing is you can't really smell them in the store unless some kind of box bandit already opened it. But yeah, Florence. And then in the base, there's some woods, there's some musk. So, I don't know, when I wear this fragrance, it definitely garners compliments, and it just makes me feel like a very angelic. So maybe that's why it's one of my picks for your wedding day, because, I mean, which bride isn't angelic? Anyways, again, from the House of Tocca, Florence. Next up I have a fragrance from the House of Amouage, and this one is called Honor. So Honor Woman, I think they're one and the same, but I love this bottle. Can you imagine this in pictures with the little Swarovski up here? Such a pretty bottle, pretty fragrance. So Honor is another white floral fragrance, but it has like a little twist in my opinion. It does not just stay like a heavy white floral throughout the life of the fragrance on your skin. So yeah, so this one, it opens with rhubarb. There's rhubarb, there's pepper, there's coriander in the opening, and in the middle there's some jasmine, some gardenia, tuberose again, there's some carnation, and in the base I think there's some incense and some leather. So it kind of takes the fragrance in a different direction. So on my skin, I get the white florals, but in the dry down, it's this like mysterious, kind of sexy vibe. So, I mean, I can see a bride definitely rocking this, you know. So her groom is waiting for her, you know, her daddy is walking her down the aisle, and the groom is waiting and he's anticipating, and here she comes and he smells this and he goes, darn, hurry up, let's get to the honeymoon. Because yeah, this one has like this sexy vibe to it that I truly enjoy. So this gives me about 6 hours on the skin. It's not like a super projecting fragrance. I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't describe it as that, but people can smell you. It will not like fill up the whole entire room, but you will be smelled. So when you're walking down the aisle, your guests are gonna smell you for sure. And this bottle, again, white, angelic, very bridal. So yep, from the House of Amouage, Honor Woman. Oh, by the way, shout out to my girl Annie Nunez. She is an Initio rep, but she's at Neiman Marcus in Tampa Bay, and yeah, she twisted my arm, and no, she didn't have to. Amouage Honor, very gorgeous fragrance. Thank you, Annie. Okay, so next up I have a fragrance that was actually re-released in the year 2023, and this is from Creed, and this is Spring Flower 2023. So I have the old Spring Flower in my collection. I wear it every now and then, but when I smelled this one, I was like, there's somewhat of a difference in here, a difference that I actually enjoy more. So this one opens with grapefruit and bergamot. So you still have that bright kind of opening, and in the middle there's some white florals. But the white florals are not screaming at you as they are in like Honor Woman. So this one to me has more of a fresher vibe to it than the one that I previously spoke of. I find this fragrance super enjoyable. It's getting mixed reviews, but I do think that it's something that someone who's getting married, you know, looking at fragrances for the big day should get their nose on. It's readily available to smell at the high-end retailers, Neiman, Saks. I'm not sure if it's at Nordstrom, but yeah. And if you're in a city that has the Creed boutique, obviously you can smell it there. So this fragrance just gives me like a feeling of, I want to say a fresh, just a really fresh, pretty girl. I mean, the florals again are not, that's not what screams off of my skin. What's bouncing off my skin more so in this fragrance are actually it's the opening notes. Now I feel like there has to be some musk in here. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I get like a musky kind of dry down also on my skin. So yeah, definitely, of course, the bottle. The bottle is gorgeous. So can you imagine this bottle in the photos? I think it'll translate really, really well in photos. Also, it's the longevity. It gives me about 6 hours on the skin. That'll get you through your wedding, girl. And even if it just gives you 4, call your maid of honor. That's what she's there for. She signed the contract. So yeah, Creed Spring Flower, the new release 2023. Get your nose on it, brides to be. So my last recommendation is from the house of Chanel, and it is Gabrielle Essence. So this is Chanel Gabrielle Essence. Now, some people might say, well, this fragrance isn't that special. Why would somebody want to wear it on their wedding day? First of all, it's Chanel, darling. Why wouldn't you? This is going to translate so well in pictures because it has the Chanel classic, you know, look. I love the bottle. It's just classy to me. Now this fragrance here, you could get in the opening, there's some citruses. So you get like a bright opening. There's like some red fruit. In the middle, I know that there's some white florals, I think tuberose and jasmine. In the base, there's some vanilla, there's some musk. So it is a sweet, but not overly sweet, so it's not cloying. I feel like it's like a super classy fragrance, the Essence. Now this doesn't really last too long on the skin. However, I also have the body cream, and when you layer the body cream with this, it extends the longevity. So this gives me about 4 hours on my skin without the actual fragrant body cream. But with the fragrant body cream, I can get about 6 hours on the skin. It is not the typical, this is not Chanel No. 5, okay? Does not have that typical Chanel DNA. It feels like more light, more airy, more wearable, my opinion. Again, fragrance is subjective. There are people that love that, you know, aldehydic vibe of Chanel No. 5. I'm just not one of those people. But this one right here, Gabrielle Essence, I really, really enjoy this one. And I feel like any bride could pull this off because it's light enough to do like a casual by the beach wedding, or a really formalized wedding in a castle in Scotland. Just saying. Yeah, it is a gorgeous fragrance. Get your nose on it. Again, readily available for you to smell at basically all of the counters. It doesn't even have to be a high-end store. It could be Macy's, Dillard's, any one of those. You could get your nose on Gabrielle Chanel the Essence. Gorgeous fragrance that will be amazing in pictures. Again, the longevity is questionable, but if you layer it, I think you will achieve exactly what you're trying to achieve on that special day. Hey y'all, so I don't know what happened to my closing at all. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. I just wanted to say congratulations to all the 2023 brides. I really hope that this video was helpful at least. Once again, thanks so much for watching. And if you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!